Hey, Vivian.
Vivian, I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy. Are you sure?
I'm prepared to do whatever it takes.
You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked.
Yeah, plus that.
It's only right that I
suppose.
return the favor. Or at least attempt to.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the odd lecture. I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, for asking this of you.
But
But this
fine.
book, it set me on the path to becoming who I am today. Its importance cannot be overstated.
All right. Yeah, we have a couple of quests up there too. Man, we got quests all over the place. I'm okay with it. I'm liking it.
What a word.
Just you to go and pick a fight with a bleeding god. I didn't sign up for all this excitement, you know.
No.
Sid did say the higher-ups wouldn't be too happy about us trying to change the world. Bah, you got me there. And it ain't as if I have anything better to do. So, no more lip out of me. But it's that lip that keeps us on our toes, Otto.
Is that right?
Well, I'd better start looking for something else to moan about then, hadn't I? That's funny. No one round here is bold enough to daft enough to say I'm fit for the knacker's yard. But I sure as hell ain't getting any younger.
Might be time to take a step back.
Let the fledglings spread their wings. Young goat? Goat's as bright on the inside as the inside of a barrel. But his heart's in the right place. And his constant failures never seem to dim his spirits either. Reckon the same might have been said of me when I was his age.
If it weren't for Sid.
Giving me the room to fall and a hand to help me up again. I never would have changed. It'd have been the goats leading the goats, Clive. Assuming we'd made it this far.
I'll be here
That's
if
funny.
you need me.
Alright, go up here and we get more of these done. I don't see a thingy here, so I'm assuming he has nothing new, but I may as well check anyway. Nope, nothing new. At least not yet. Bum 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 bum. Do you have anything to say? Bum 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 bum.
Yes, my lord? My lord.
You are resolved to go then.
I am.
And so is Joshua. I know you fear for him, but I'll do everything in my power to keep him safe.
I do not doubt it.
You are, as you've always been, his first shield. I was only ever his temporary protector. Now his grace has bade me protect the hideaway instead. And that is what I shall do.
Thank you, Yote.
He said it all
May
himself.
he return safely.
To us, my lord. Both of you.
His grace and I.
Often spoke on our travels, and a certain saying of his remains with me even now. Duty is the enemy of freedom.
First,
I thought that he spoke of his own plight. That though he was able to roam the land again, his duty to unearth the truth about Ultima prevented him from being truly free. But I came to understand that he spoke not of himself, but of me.
it was my duty to him.
That his grace judged to be inimical to my own freedom. I believe that this is why he bade me remain here, that I might at last be released from my duty to him. Few others in his position would allow the cares of a humble attendant to weigh so heavily upon them, nor take such drastic action in response.
May the Firebird's flame burn ever in your heart.
May it to you as well. Hi, Teta.
Thank you, my lord, for taking me in. Everyone here has been so kind. It reminds me of home.
Ah, you're welcome. Perfectly happy with that. I'm surprised and happy we get to see her too. It's nice. Asta.
All this time, my heart has wandered hither and thither in
Aye,
search
aye.
of the perfect companion. When all along he was here, standing right beside me.
'Tis not me. I am taken by Jill. Thank you very much. Hey, the childs.
What do you think happened to Miss...
Sid, you have to help us.
Mm-hmm.
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's contraptions, did you?
No. Well, yes.
Nah.
But that's not what we want to
Of
talk to you
course.
about.
It's Miss Mididol. She's been acting strange. Very strange. She's barely ever around.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there. Her head's in a crowd.
In the clouds.
I was gonna say it's in the clouds, isn't it?
That's what I said. In the clouds.
In the crowds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you last see her?
Not long ago. Ah, right after she got back from saving you from Stoneir.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way there and back.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid?
No.
You really should
Never.
be more careful around Miss Mididol's inventions. Oh, don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back together, couldn't you?
But who's gonna put Miss Mididol back together? She seems really sad.
I'm a little worried about Mid myself.
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us? She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
Doo-doo-doo, aiming high. Okay, so where is the final one? So I know... So Mid I can get to pretty easily, I think. How do I get back up there? There's a staircase, yeah? Yeah, right? Is there? Yeah, but I can't... Yeah, but I can't go that way to it. Okay, fine. Ba-bum,
Miss Shirley says your books made quite an impression on the children.
Bum. So she's not actually in her dungeon. Oh no, she is. It's just that I can't track it. Okay, that makes sense.
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid, may I have a moment?
Yeah, sure thing, Herman.
Of course.
It is an honor to finally speak with you.
Thank you.
My name is Herman. I've been with the Cursebreakers for some time now, and I wish to be deployed to Ash. Any assignment will do.
Apparently it's not allowed.
The lands across the Narrow are too dangerous. I will not send good men and women to risk their lives needlessly. Why would you want to go back?
I need to retrieve something. Something important.
Hey there,
I
Kate.
was raised.
Welcome
in
back to the
orphanage.
stream, friendo.
Badbach.
I'll read it in 1 sec. Read your message in 1 sec.
I was held captive there. It was not a place of nurture. It existed solely to turn bearer children into mindless weapons. We were tortured until we feared no pain. Tormented until our hearts turned to stone.
That's quite the story there, Herman.
Few ever survived long enough to become tools of the last king.
I can't imagine.
I lost so many. I can't even remember all their names. But they must be remembered. They cannot fade away, faceless and forgotten. The Institute was run with military precision. Every child measured, every name recorded, every death logged with meticulous care. Sid, allow me to travel to Ash and recover the registry so that my brothers and sisters might live on.
Nah, it seems fair. Alright, before I select yes though. Hey Kate, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? So great to see you. So great to see you back. I was actually talking about you a little bit earlier. Cause I was talking about what was I talking about? I was talking about like how I'm honestly relatively lucky to be where I am in terms of streaming. We're talking about a new streamer that I stumbled across a while ago, and I was giving her a bit of a shout out. And I was like, I just want to support a lot of new streamers because I'm actually pretty lucky. Like, I don't get a lot of, did a lot of like high average views, but I have a lot of people that stop by, a lot of old faces that show up, etc., etc. A lot of people that come say hi, maybe go for a while, etc. So basically just saying I've met a lot of cool people, and I actually do have quite a lot of viewers, despite what my average would actually say. And you came up in that because I was like, oh yeah, she messaged me after like such a long time. It was really nice. Let's see. So Kate says, so word on the street is that there's a stream around here somewhere. Very cute, like that. Been a hot minute, that's for sure. Good old 6 years, maybe. It's been a long time. I'm not too sure how long it's actually been, if I'm being honest. It could be 6 years. I feel like that may be a little too long, but it might not be too far off. But either way, no, that's certainly a pleasure, right? It's certainly a pleasure. Like, it's always so nice. And like, and I said this when I messaged you too, right? I've been thinking about you a bit. Like, just in the sense of like, I wonder how she's doing. I wonder what she's been up to. Hopefully things have been all right. All that. So it's really, really nice to see you. Really, really nice. Yeah, no, it's really, really nice. It's like meeting an old friend. Yeah, an old friend you haven't spoken to in such a long time. I think I was maybe a freshman in high school, maybe sophomore. Man, how time flies, right? Even just like a few days ago, like once again, before you even messaged me, I was thinking back how when I played Shadow of the Colossus, we did like the super long stream because you wanted to see how the game went, how the game ended. And I remember that. I remember that actually very vividly. Because I was like, oh, I got to introduce a new game to you back then. And I don't know, that's always stuck with me. I don't know why. I think that kind of is what gave me my big interest in just kind of showing off a lot of games that some people might not know about, right? Like, I don't know, there's something really special about that stream where I was like, yeah, I got to show off a game to someone. That was really, really cool. And I don't know, that honestly has given me such a mentality of I want to show off a lot of obscure games that some people might not know of. I remember that's still one of my favorite games I watched. Well, that's excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. I don't know, that game really stuck with me. I don't know why. Like, not the game. Obviously the game did, but before the stream, the game did. But there's something about that stream that really stuck with me, where I was like, that's how I want to kind of conduct streams. Not all the time, because obviously we're playing Final Fantasy 16 right now, which isn't really obscure, nor is it unknown. But that really got me a big interest in wanting to show off a lot of games. So I also want to say thank you for that. Thank you for your enthusiasm back then. I said that weird, enthusiasm. Thank you for your enthusiasm back then. But yeah, we're playing Final Fantasy 16. Just so you know, we're reaching near the end of the game.
That Ash is simply too dangerous.
I'm probably not going to finish it today, but
Please, even should it cost me my life.
we're basically near the end.
Herman,
Like, for real.
but not for me.
This time.
I'll go to Bad Back and find the registry.
You will?
Yeah, well, of course.
I won't let you risk your life.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can start by telling me where I'll find this orphanage.
Vida Grace. Hidden in a forest, overlooking the plains.
I came across there, didn't I?
I'll see what I can find there.
May the mothers guide you.
Let's see. Kate says, how's the game been? Good? It's been really good, actually. I've really been enjoying it. Okay, I was gonna say, where's all the quests that I took? Yeah, no, I've been really enjoying it. Been having a really good time. I find the story to be really good. Obviously, there are some little critiques that I would have, and I may as well mention. I'll probably mention all during the end of the game as well, but I'll mention some here. So to me, the music is really good. The story is really good. I like the length of the game. I'm really enjoying how dark it is compared to a lot of other Final Fantasy games. Like it's a lot more dark and mature, which I personally enjoy. That's not everybody's cup of tea, but I personally enjoy that. I like the plethora of side quests that you get, and I like how the side quests actually do enhance the main story and give you more of a, like, it adds to it, right? Like they're not just like a separate thing, but they're how you learn about some of the other characters that you know through the story, which I think is pretty cool. The fights seem really epic. The boss fights are really, really good in my opinion as well. I like a lot of the cutscenes, and I like the quick time events because they're not hard. They don't sneak up on you, and they make you feel really, really cool when you do them, right? If I have any critiques, it's that not all of the side quests are super great. Some of them are actually a little boring. Mostly just amounts to go here, fight a couple dudes, return. Not all of them are like that. Some of the ones in the early game are like that. It's mostly the early game ones that are pretty meh, kind of mid. Then you have how long the opening of the game is. I do kind of feel like the length of the early portion of the game might be just a little too long, considering it took me like about 4 hours to get to what is essentially some of the meat of the game, and then even farther beyond that to get to what I consider the true meat of the game. So maybe a bit of a long opening, but it's an RPG, so you got to expect that, right? That's kind of the thing with it, is even though I would say like maybe a little too long, maybe a touch too long, it's an RPG and they had a lot to set up. So even then I can't really say like, that it's really all that bad, right? What's the time so far in the game? That's a good question. Does this actually tell me? Shoot, would I have a way to tell? It's been a while. Okay, well, let me think here. So let me do the math. We'll do some quick math here. I'm getting a handy dandy calculator up. So this is session 21. No, that's not gonna wait. Yeah, we can say session. No, not 221. So session 21. It's been about 4 parts, 4 hours on average. Like we'll average it out at about like maybe 4 to 5. Maybe 5 is more so the average. I'm trying to think, what would my average be? We'll say 4. We'll so about 84 hours at the minimum. At the maximum, it's probably like 105. So maximum 105, minimum about 84, which I'm pretty sure How Long to Beat is actually. Let me see, because how's How Long to Beat? What does How Long to Beat say? I'm a little embarrassed because I feel like I've actually been, but I don't feel like I've been playing the game slowly. Okay, so it says main story plus sides about 57.5 hours. I feel like that's not correct, to be honest. I feel like I'm probably at 84. And I say that because the streams, first off, are always going to be a bit longer. Because I putz around on streams, right? Like right now, like this is adding to my time, right? And I'm slow when I stream games. When I stream games, I'm slow, right? So we can go ahead and say that it's inflated for me. And plus I read all the lore, right? Like I'm sure this isn't accounting for the fact that you sit down and you read out loud all of the lore of the game, because there's a lot of lore that you can read. So that sounds about right. About 85 to 105, somewhere around there. But yeah, no, it's been a really good game. Like, I understand people's issues with it. Like I said, it's very mature. It's very different for a Final Fantasy game, but it's really good. I've been enjoying it. I've liked it, and I like the combat. I do like the combat. I'm in the middle of the Final Fantasy X-2 remaster. I love 10. I love 10. Wasn't as into 10-2 when I played that many years ago, but I think my opinion on that would probably have changed. Because gonna show my age here. I'm gonna show my age with this one. I played Final Fantasy X a long time ago, and I was really excited when I heard about 10-2 because I love Final Fantasy X. 10 is like my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. I love Final Fantasy X. It's so good. Like, it's one of my favorites. And I played that game multiple times too, and I 100%ed it like at least once. And I remember Cooney said, "Hey Cooney, welcome back to stream, friendo. How you doing today?" Cooney says, "Same here." And Kate says, 10 was the first FF game that I played start to finish. They're so good, right? I love 10. I love 10 so much. Like, so I remember one day I got, because this was like, I'm trying to think. I want to say, because when did 10-2 come out? Because the internet was definitely like a thing, obviously, but like it wasn't something that I used in my daily life. I don't think. Not as much as I would now. So like I wasn't going on various or did I learn about it through? No, I did. I did learn about it through GameFAQs, I think. Because I think someone posted the Japanese trailer for 10-2. And I remember going, oh my God, they're making a 10-2. And then I was shopping with my mom and we found this magazine. And it had like the image of Riku on it from 10-2. And I'm like, oh my God, I want that. And then I read that. And I read that. I was like one of the few gaming magazines I ever got. I read through that thing a ton. Yeah, 03? Did it come out 03? Okay, it may have come out 03. It was in the early 2000s, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I read that so much. It gave the release date, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait for the release date. And I was so excited. And then I even remember this actually very vividly. I remember my dad driving my mom and I because we all went shopping, and we went out the day the game was released, and we went to Toys R Us. And I picked it up and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't wait to get home and play it. And then I played it and I didn't dislike it. Right? See, here's the thing. I know a lot of people, or at least a lot of people back then, didn't really like 10-2. I think opinions have changed. I think opinions have shifted. But I thought 10-2 was all right. I was actually kind of one of the few people that thought was all right. But my issue with it was too different from 10. Back then, I was like that. I was one of those people where I was like, nah, it's too different. It's an okay game, but it's too different from the 10 that I liked. So I thought it was okay, but I didn't really have as many fond memories of it as I did for 10. Nowadays, if I were to go back and play it, I think I would enjoy it a lot more because I no longer have the mindset of that. I no longer have that sort of mindset where I'm like, oh, you know, it's too different. I don't like it. I think I'll like it. I think I'll be able to appreciate what it does differently. And it makes a lot of sense what it does differently. 10 did hint on a sequel. It did. I think. Now, I'm not going to talk about the ending to 10 because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't played it. And I want to replay through it at some point for whenever I go around to my Final Fantasy-a-thon. But I don't think it was meant to have a sequel. I think it was meant to end ambiguously where it did. But I don't think it was intended to have a sequel. But it just so happened to work out really well for a sequel. And yeah, it's really good. So yeah, I think I'd appreciate 10-2 a lot more now than when I would have back then. I also have heard rumblings, right, of a potential Final Fantasy X-3, which I heard rumblings of, right? I think from what I heard is they want to do it, and they actually have a script outlined for it, but they don't want to work on it yet because they're too busy doing the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. So they said once the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff is done, then maybe they'll work on a 10-3. That's what I heard, which has me excited because I would like to see that. I would like to see Final Fantasy X come back, right? Because, like I said, it's one of my favorites, right? It's one of my favorite Final Fantasies. And the only thing that I know that happened is they did actually kind of release a sequel. I don't know how canon it is. Probably not, since I know people don't like it. But I know they released a radio drama in Japan, which is actually a sequel to 10-2. But I hear it's actually really, really bad. And I don't, from what I've read about it, and once again, I'm not going to spoil anything because it'd probably spoil 10-2, and I'm not going to do that. But from what I understand, the radio drama for the sequel to 10-2 really wasn't that good and had a lot of things that didn't make sense and a lot of very out of character moments, which obviously not good. So I don't recommend listening to the radio drama, but I think this does kind of mean that they're still playing along with the story of the 10 of Final Fantasy X. So I hope they do a 10-3. I really hope they do it. Because I would love to see that. I don't know where they would take it. I'm going to be honest, but I would love to see it. You know? Let's see. Kate says, I'm not a fan of the combat or the start of it, but I'm not too far into it. Not a fan of the combat, though. The combat takes some getting used to. You'll probably like it as you play. And as you kind of unlock more ways to do combat, I think you'll probably start to like it. It gets better. It's one of those things where I'd say it gets better. But it doing the real-time combat the way they do it certainly is different, right? Like it's not easy to get used to. Let's see. Cooney says, I actually love the battle system, but I never got to finish it. Perfectly fair. You'd love to have a 10-3? Same. Was 10 the best in sales, or why are they focusing so much on it? I think it was really popular. I'm pretty sure it was really popular. I don't actually know how well it did necessarily. Yeah, let's actually look that up real quick. I mean, 20.8 million units worldwide. I mean, that's pretty all right. As of September 2021. So I mean, yeah, it was both the critical and commercial success. 8.5 million units worldwide on PS2. So it sold really well. Gratefully so. It's really good, right? I mean, hell, it did so well. It was the first Final Fantasy game to have a sequel. Right? And I think there's a love to it as well. I think there is a love that the creators had for it. Because, like, doesn't the director still work for the company? Like, I'm pretty sure he's still... Like, I'm pretty sure he's the one that wants to do a 10-3. So question, is it just 10 and 13 that have sequels? Yes. I believe so. I believe 10 and 13 are the only ones that have sequels. You could argue... well, you could argue 7 does with the movie, if you want to count that. I like the aspects of the combat, just not the openness of it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. I can understand that. And then Kate says, well, I have family dinner, so I'll hop back on later if you're still streaming. All right, you take care. You have a good dinner. Thank you very much for stopping by. For real. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for the talk, too. Sorry it wasn't as much gameplay from my end, but thank you for the talk. I appreciate it. All right. You have a good dinner. And Cooney says, what I like about the combat is how you get new skills and can gain proficiency in them. Yeah, like I say, I think it's nice. But I think it does take time to get used to, right? I think that's kind of the thing with it, is it takes time to get used to the combat. Because I'm pretty sure when I first played it, I don't think I liked it either. But I think as I played, I am pretty sure I got more used to the combat, and I grew to like it more.
Mid, if you have a...
That's it!
All right.
The answer was right here under my arse all along.
She almost jump scared me,
If
dude.
this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will.
Oh, she is trying to make it fly.
You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm, and that's with the sea beneath her. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to anything at all? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so I'm gonna do something about it. The Fallen had their chance, but they relied too much on magic. And see where that got them? But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First, I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby.
Baby.
But if a godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the tub and crown. Refined stuff, like they make in Ordil. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the beast it belongs to.
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers will know where you might find some.
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
She has a good
I
point.
should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
Okay, so where am I going? Yeah, I just have quests all over the place. Okay, well, we'll do the rounds at the very least. I guess we'll go this way first. Talk with the curse breaker. Do 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 bum 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 bum. I need to talk to you. Hey, Ronan.
All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
And I will,
Only
if you want.
it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm. Any ideas?
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better.
Adamantoise.
You know
Yep.
what an adamantus is?
I fought many.
I do. And I know to give them a wide berth.
They are pretty dangerous.
Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Karava, near Old Bidza, or what's left of the village anyway. But don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
You know, on the subject of Final Fantasy X, actually, and its popularity, I do kind of want to mention something which I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't think about, unless you played 14 anyway. Because in Final Fantasy 14, without spoiling anything, there are a fair few aspects in that game, and especially in relating to what they call primals or icons in that game, right? In Final Fantasy 14, that either look exactly like, bear a strong resemblance to, or just outright is a reference to Final Fantasy X, right? Like, there have been so many times in that game where I'm playing it and I'm like, oh, it's a Final Fantasy X reference. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Hey, Torgal. Man, he's looking pretty solemn.
Pining for something, boy.
You want true love, buddy?
What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
See, I was always wondering about that.
That's why. On the day he brought him home.
Okay, that makes sense.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
That's smart.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all.
That's true.
Sid would always tell him, you want that iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he was looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
No.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you?
Ah, so he's keeping that as a memento from Sid then.
You want me to go with you somewhere?
Well, there he goes.
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated. You've been a good friend to him.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you. Go on now.
Where to then, Torgal?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that. Follow Torgal. Yeah, I can do that. I'm good at following a doggo. Hey, Goots.
Oh.
I wish I could go up there with you. Doesn't seem right, leaving everything up to you, Theory.
It's hardly everything.
This planet still needs to be done down here. Like seeing to our stores and keeping Karen safe. Only you can do that, Goots. Goats.
And I will. I promise.
I won't let Nan come to no harm, no matter what.
You can count on me.
Just like we're all counting on you to come back safe and sound.
Be seeing ya.
I did it, Sid. I made friends with all the animals in the hideaway. But you know what I'd really like? My own goblin. Or maybe a marble or a bomb. Only if it was a big one. That or a bander curl, but not a cactuar. They're too prickly.
We haven't found a cactuar, have we? But no, Jack, and I'm the amateur Twitcher here. You can't take that title away from me ever. It's just like these two then? Okay.
All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me?
The color got really interesting there for a moment.
Unless you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west, toward Rosaria. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the island in almost 20 years. To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
Island. Have we been to the rookery?
Ah, Clive, my boy. What a pleasure it is to see you.
Hippocrates. There's something I need to ask you. I've been charged with locating a book called From a Distance.
From a
And
distance,
you
huh?
seek a rare gem indeed. One whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. you've been talking to Vivian.
Yep.
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much. I take it she didn't like what you had to say.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young professor has tasked you with obtaining a copy, I fear she asks the impossible. The executors would not allow it.
The executors?
Yeah, whomst.
Coveters of secrets. A clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden texts and technologies. One such text being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does the true history of the enslavement of bearers.
Ooh, the true history of bearer enslavement, huh?
Overturn the established order were it ever to become widely known. Or, so rumor has it. I've never actually read the thing, or even set eyes on it for that matter.
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why, secrecy is the executor's watchword. They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized, be it books, inventions, or people, before disappearing again, leaving nary a trace.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp not long after she found it.
By the hand of the executors, yes.
But what drives them? Self-interest or ideology?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the executors can be recounted in a single breath. You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the identities of their leaders. Any answer I give would be pure speculation.
Then my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting? That I'd pluck it from thin air?
Not from thin air, no. From ash. Rumors of the executors are rife among the scholars of Storm, but rather less so across the strait. I have a friend. Well,
Yeah, congratulations.
In the village of Garnick.
I've been there.
A collector of rare tomes, upon which subject we would oft correspond.
Probably how I get in the house.
Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark. And no doubt he too has turned. But
probably,
though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that a surviving copy of From a Distance yet rests upon one of his many shelves, quietly awaiting discovery. If you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library, I know his soul would rest easier.
Very well. When I next find myself in Waloed, I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit.
Probably do that next. Make for Garnick. I can do that. So I gotta go to Port Isolde and to Garnick. Okay, well, I don't know where I want to go to first, but let's talk to Gav.
You alright? About that.
If there's anything I can do to help you kill this Ultima bloke, you just say the word, eh? You could promise to take Sid's name off my hands.
Aye.
Don't even joke about that. Anyway, I thought you said you hadn't finished with it yet. I did, didn't I? Now, if you wanted to give me an even grander title, something to rival your Sid the Outlaw, that'd be a different story.
Let's see.
Gav the Magnificent? Gav the Almighty? Gav the Lionheart? Something along those lines? I'll leave that to you to decide. I'm sure you're more than capable of choosing the perfect moniker for Sid's right-hand man. His mouth is moving interestingly, actually. Weird. All right. Right-hand man, eh? I'll take it. Nice.
You off then?
Do a round.
What can I get you, Sid?
By a round on the hall. Or for the hall.
Oh, someone's in a good mood. Drink up, you lot. The next round's on Sid.
I know it doesn't really matter. I don't need to do it, but I want to do it.
Oh, you're not leaving already, are you?
All right, so where to then? Go to Port of Sold. I mean, but I can pick up a quest here though. I can pick up some quests. But this one is for Torgal. This one is for Torgal. I gotta do it. I gotta go for Torgal, dude. He's the doggo. He's the boy. He's the best boy.
It's still here. After all these years.
I guess Joshua canonically isn't with me.
I remember. And you're a lot bigger. You might have to swim, boy. I wasn't being serious.
I know he's with us.
You two
Okay.
go on without me. I doubt that boat will hold a third.
If you're sure, we won't be long. Hop in, boy.
Yeah, you can't see him getting into the boat, eh? Too much of an animation cost.
This place hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on.
Yeah, it's just kind of like its own little area.
Race you there? I bet I could still beat you.
Wow, they have an old treehouse? Okay, that's kind of cool.
Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal?
See what I mean by the cutscene or by the side quests being like actually really important? Oh, little baby Torgal.
Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy?
Armor?
This is all from the castle. In Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here?
A sword. Huh. Oh.
Sparring sword.
I remember using that.
Well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal. For never giving up. For never forgetting.
Just like a dog,
Let's take
man.
this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either.
Such a dog thing to do, too. Never forgetting, always look out for your master, etc., etc.
That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right. I'm coming. I think I know where we're going.
More memories, perhaps? Oh, look at that. That's so pretty, dude.
People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you. But without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. Let's go home.
See, that was a good side quest. That was a really good side quest. Short, simple, but had a lot of meaning to it. The charred sparring sword. Clive's old sparring sword, salvaged by a faithful friend in the aftermath of the Ironblood invasion 18 winters past. Remember, Clive, your blade is not your only weapon. Rodney Murdoch. Got Cavill's Fang, too. +1. Speaking of which, I probably should actually change up my gear, shouldn't I? After the cutscene.
Sorry for the wait.
Okay, we can do that. Do it real quick, just so I don't forget. Because yeah, we have just stuff I don't need. I think putting that on would be good. See, I feel like buffing Dancing Steel is actually the way to go. Like 8%, but this increases by like 20%, which is really good. And you can use it pretty often, so yeah, we'll do that actually. So there you go. So we're just really, really buffing up Odin's stuff. Defender +2. We got the Everdark.
We're ready.
And I can finish the, well, work on the quest here too, I guess. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Why not? Now, let's see. Where would that quest be? Over here, apparently. Oh. Oh, the oil. That's right.
Mid's oil.
Shipwrights tallow.
After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all.
True. So it's all here then? Okay. Now, if I were all the stuff that Mid needed, where would I be? Farewell, goblin muggers. And dead. Oh, right over here. Nice. Let's see other oil. Yeah.
This should be enough.
Okay, now that's it from here. All right. Is there anything else here that I might need? Seems not. So we can move on to, I guess here, because we can finish off the Joshua side quest too. Because I'm curious what the will says. I'm so curious what the will says. I guess while I'm here, I can check the shop too. Why not?
Welcome, welcome.
Not that. I do not wish to sell things. Will of gun gear. Ooh. For 30%. I mean, I'll buy it.
Anything else?
I don't know if I'll use it, but I will buy it. I will buy you.
A fine choice.
Just in case those matter.
Anything else?
Stock up on our potions.
Of course. A fine choice. Take care.
So yeah, a few quests around here, don't we? Quite a few, actually. I'm going the wrong way. All right, this way. Ooh, now what's the will gonna say? Clive, you will be king now.
My lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Nope, no knees around at all.
You found a letter from father?
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
My beloved sons, I know that I ask much of you in this coming war, but I see no other way to secure a future for our duchy and our family. Yet even should we succeed in subduing the savages and winning back Drake's breath, the threat of the Blight still looms, and only with all Rosaria striving as one might we at last overcome it. I have made plans to see us through, but such are the obstacles that stand in our way. It shall likely fall to you to continue my work. I know that you have the strength and the courage and the will to do so. This shall be an arduous inheritance, and so I offer you another, that you might be reminded of the love and the faith that I hold for both of you. Your father.
An inheritance?
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, your grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His grace also spoke of building hospices to care for
he had a
those
lot of
stricken
plans.
by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides. Those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord.
I'm very intrigued.
The duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering his grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it, or a part of it at least.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, your grace.
Thank you, Cyril.
Shall we then?
All right. I am very intrigued. And incredibly curious. Well, no, I want to go back. Testament.
Lord Marquis, if you have a moment.
I do, it's why I came back.
Cyril?
One of our brethren lately journeyed across the strait in order to pursue a new avenue of inquiry in our ongoing investigation. He sent an owl some while ago, but we have heard naught from him since.
Was he surveying another fallen ruin?
No. The object of his study was a savior cult that has arisen in Ash in recent years. We believe it may have some connection to the Circle of Malleus, an ancient religion that worshipped Ultima as its god. By gaining an understanding of this new faith, we hoped to learn more of the Circle's original beliefs.
And so you sent one of your brothers to Ash, a continent teeming with orcs and Akashic.
Fully cognizant of the risks, yes. I entrusted the mission to one of the most able of our order, the Third Chair, a master of the arts of combat and survival both. Though he has been silent for some days now, I have thus far refrained from sending any others in search of him, lest they be lost in turn. Yet, it seemed only right to inform you of the situation, given your unique experience of the perils of Ash.
It is very perilous,
As you
I'm gonna be
so
honest.
earnestly advised me, it would not do to abandon a man to his fate, when he might yet be saved.
It would not. But Ash is a big place. Can you be any more specific?
Perhaps. The last owl I received from him mentioned a village where he had heard the cult were wont to assemble. Mickleburg was its name.
Mickleburg?
It lies in the southern reaches of Waloed. If aught
Have I been
ill
there?
befell him, I expect it did so there.
Right. I'll see what I can do.
Mickleburg is a pretty good name.
Too kind,
I like it.
Go then, with my
Nickelback.
and
See,
may
it's
the
kind of funny.
Firebird's flame ever burn in your
It's like when he said it initially, I was like, wait, Nickel? So, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, we're going to Nickelback Town. Hot take. I think Nickelback's okay. I know, right? I know. The hottest of takes. I know.
If this new faith really is an offshoot of the Circle of Malleus, then...
Let's concentrate on finding the Third Chair first, shall we?
I know. I will admit that Nickelback is basically like what popcorn rock, but it's pretty alright. Maybe not the best like music, but it's pretty alright. First Order of the Ecologians Dalmatian Wing. 53rd Monthly Report. Item 1. Further discoveries from our acolyte ensconced within the recently displayed Mountain Dwellers remote settlement. The diminutive tribe's main village appears to be in receipt of regular deliveries of supplies from Hugo Kupka's Men of the Rock. On inquiring with the locals, it became apparent that they have the deepest respect for the one they call Lord Kupka. But whether he has merely bought their loyalty or if there is some deeper connection between the tribe and Titan remains unclear. I'm not a hater. Nah, that's fair. I didn't think you were a hater. I just know a lot of people are. So I like to say, hey, I think they're okay. A lot of people hate his music for weird reasons. Yeah, a lot of people hate the music of Nickelback. I don't really get it. Like, so I understand that it's not, like, it's popcorn rock. It's popcorn rock, right? It's not that great, but I mean, hey, they had the main song for Spider-Man, the movie, back in 2000. Back in 2001 or 2002 or whenever that movie came out. So clearly, some people think they're good, right? I think they're okay. Like with most music, I don't listen to bands that much. Like, I listen to individual songs more than I listen to bands. I think it's pretty alright. Lord Cyril. Acolytes stationed across Valestia reported a curious change in the primeval structures we have come to refer to as monoliths. Following the fall of Drake's tail and the change in the skies. Allow me to present the preliminary findings of our archaeologians' investigations into those monoliths most near at hand. We were able to visually confirm the activation of the structure in the northern reaches of the Valkyrie, but a sandstorm forced our temporary retreat. We'll make a second attempt when the wind drops. In Draco's Keep, our team was able to make direct contact with the monolith. However, no further change was observed upon touching its surface, nor upon dealing it several stout blows with both fist and blade. Whatever the purpose of its activation, it would appear to be other than that of the defensive echoes we have encountered among previous relics of the Fallen and their predecessors. We shall continue our investigations both of the monoliths proper and of any historical writings that may refer to them, and inform your lordship forthwith should they produce any discoveries of note. May the Phoenix's flame burn ever in your heart. Tomage, Second Order of Archaeologians.